While jazz may be difficult to define, improvisation is clearly one of its key elements.
I enjoy jazz. I mean, it's the creative music. It's not so strict and linear like classical music, where you need to play exactly what's on the page. I mean, you can read off lead sheets and stuff where it's just the melody and then make up things over the chords. It's great.
It's also great that Chris won the title of the most outstanding bass player at this year's Tauranga National Jazz Competition. But it took some time for it to sink in.
I feel quite good. Like, it didn't really click that I had actually won it until I got home later that night after the competition. I sort of thought that now I had a trophy saying that I was the most outstanding high school bass player in the country, so it was quite a big deal, yeah.
It's not so much a matter of winning. I mean, it is a matter of developing yourself to the best of your ability and putting your best foot out and knowing that you have done all of the hard work that's necessary and then feeling confident to be able to do that. And Chris has got a lot of confidence about his ability, mainly because he's had a lot of good input. These students have supported what it is that he does, and he in turn supports them.
Chris initially played trumpet for his school's jazz combo. His brother was the group's trombone player at the time.
Well, actually, it was my brother who told me to play trumpet, and sort of the reason why I didn't play that so much is because it was sort of not my choice as much. But yeah, and then with bass, it was sort of, because the jazz band already had bass players, it was going to be harder for me to get in if I was playing bass, but I just persevered and kept going with that, and eventually I got in.
His brother Jonathan also won an award in the same competition 2 years ago. Although they both started music with classical piano training, they eventually fell in love with jazz.
I just wanted to give them the opportunity, give them the exposure to music, and then it's up to them what they want to do. They were just encouraged to have fun. We come from quite academic backgrounds where, you know, your whole life is study as a student and then no social life, and, you know, you only start going out after you start university and that sort of thing. I think it's quite nice that you sort of have a balance here, and that's probably why we sort of make New Zealand our home. I think it is a good idea to have music as well as other things at school. It keeps them busy and gives them something to do, something meaningful.
So meaningful that Jonathan has chosen to get a bachelor degree in music performance.
I think there's no other reason to go into music apart from you want to be a musician and you enjoy it. I think if you're going into music for something like the money or the fame, it's the wrong reason, because there's no guarantee of any of that. I thought about a few other careers before I went into music, but in the end I think music was the most logical choice when I finished school, yeah.
While jazz is one thing the 10 brothers have in common, their career plans are quite different.
Music is spontaneous, really. Like, it depends on what we're playing at the time. Sometimes I'll be quite serious depending on the music, but sometimes we'll break out into something that is quite great and I really enjoy that, and then you'll see me smile. I think I'll keep it as a hobby, you know, keep it on the side, always play music though, probably not professionally, as it's a risky business, hard to get money.
So music might not be his future bread and butter. But one thing for certain, he'll always continue to jam.
So that's nearly all for this week. But first, some important information. In 2 weeks' time, our Sunday TV1 transmission time moves from 10:30 to 11:30 in the morning. So don't forget to join us 1 hour later in 2 weeks' time. Namaste and see you soon. Next week, a programme about a very special New Zealander. Hugh MacLeod, a Kiwi Sikh historian, is the unlikely story of the Pakeha son of a Fielding sheep farmer who became an internationally recognized expert on Sikh history and religion. His early study questioned historical facts and the stories about the life of the founder of Sikhism, Guru Nanak.
If you want to believe in them, that's all right as far as you're concerned, but they're not true. And if you believe they're not true, you must say so. Some believing Sikhs accept that as a sensible sort of belief. Others, of course, they don't at all. You've got to believe the Janamsakhis or you're held to pay.
From life in the Punjab to historian in Dunedin, Hugh is one of New Zealand's unsung success stories. Hugh MacLeod, a Kiwi Sikh historian, is next week on Asia Down Under.
This program is made with funding from New Zealand On Air.